Sing until my lungs give out, you're beautiful.
Hey guys, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. So happy to have you here today. If this is your first time here, hi and welcome. My name is Kayla, aka Naughty K. In today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 signs that you are ready to start your lock journey. And before we get into that, if you haven't seen my last video, I'm gonna leave it in the description box down below so that you can open it up and take a look. Because in that video, I talked to you guys a lot about things that I wish I knew before starting my locks. As much research that I thought I did, there were still things that I didn't know when I got in that lock chair and was getting ready to get this process going. So if that sounds like you, definitely go check that video out, get a little bit of knowledge, a little background story on the things that I wish I knew before I had locks. And without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into today's video. Please leave a heart, a black heart, in the comment section down below to let me know that you made it. So, I wrote down a few things because there's so many signs, honestly, that I believe are cues to go ahead and start your lock journey. But I decided to pick like my top 5 that I believe were like the key to me going ahead and making that leap and starting my locks. I get asked often, especially now that I'm almost 3 years in the game, and I pretty much documented my journey from the beginning to now. I started with my locks this small. I have several playlists on this channel. If you want to check it out, you can see very beginning when I was loose natural and I went and got my locks done. I got my locks done professionally, by the way. I'll throw that out there. A loctician by the name of Jerry Brown did my locks, and she did a beautiful job. That kind of brings me to another video that I'm going to be doing soon. You can leave a comment down below and let me know how you feel about this topic. But I'm going to be doing a video shortly after this one in regards to getting your locks done by a loctician versus getting your locks done by yourself. So kind of like doing it yourself versus getting them done professionally, pros and cons, and how do I feel about that? Because my first year I did get my locks done professionally, and after that I started doing them myself. So for the past almost 2 years, I've been maintaining these beauties, and I think they came out pretty good if I don't say so myself. And if you're interested in something like that, definitely let me know in the comment section down below. That's how we chit chat, interact. And if you don't want to leave it in the comment section, you can definitely DM me at Naughty K and let me know your thoughts, because that video will be coming out momentarily after this one. But for today, we're just gonna stick to the 5 signs that will let you know you're ready to start your lock journey. Sign number 1, and I feel like this is the biggest sign that you cannot miss, and that is, are you already natural? If you are already natural, meaning that your hair is free of any texturizers or perms, you are already on the first step to get locks. You know, the first thing they ask you is, are you natural? Because if you're not, you're gonna either have to do a big chop and grow your hair out, or you're gonna just have to stop using the relaxers and stuff in your hair so that you can get back to its natural state. So for me, I was about to say loose natural. But yeah, I was. Technically, I was loose natural. Locks are natural, but loose natural is when it's not, you know, in lock form. But I was loose natural for about almost 2 years, a little over 2 years, I believe, before I started, you know, this process. And what got me to going natural, honestly, was not even the thought of wanting locks. It was my hair. It was reverting back so quickly, you guys. Like, it was not taking to the chemicals at all. And I didn't want to, you know, leave the chemicals on my hair for an extended period of time so that it can be stronger. And I didn't want to put stronger, even more harsher chemicals in my hair to make it last longer. I was like, you know, if my hair's not taken to this stuff, and this stuff is really not good for my hair to begin with, then let me just take a break. That's what I started off as, a break. And that break ended up being almost 2.5 years. Now, that brings me to number 2, which is, do you want to retain more length? During my natural hair process, I noticed that, you know, it's healthy to, you know, trim off your ends, trim off the dead hair. And I honestly felt like I was trimming more hair than what was actually growing. And I understand in the loose natural community, you gotta get rid of the dead hair to get new hair. But I always thought if you keep those straggly ends, your hair is gonna look a lot longer, you know? And coming from having chemical perms where my hair was longer and it looked as if it was retaining more length because the hair was straightened, I was just used to having, like, you know, longer hair, at least like shoulder length for that matter. And when I went natural, it all shrunk up and I just really felt like I wasn't retaining any length. So then I started to look into, you know, natural hairstyles to retain length, and Locs came about. With Locs, you will retain so much more length or I retained much more length than I did when I was loose natural. And that's because with Locs, you don't have that trim that you have to do monthly or every 6 months or once a year or however you used to do it when you were loose natural. You get to keep all those dead ends and they get to form what's called the lock. And you just keep twirling and twirling and twirling and twirling each time, you know, you go to wash and retwist your hair. So you get to retain all those loose ends, and that's why personally, you know, your hair appears to grow faster and retain more length with Locs than loose natural, because you're not cutting anything off. And it's not shedding like it was before because I'm not combing and brushing it every single day. And there's other reasons as well, but we'll get into the whole moisturizing and stuff in another video. Number 3, the third sign that you are ready to start your lock journey is, are you interested in minimizing your time? And by time, I mean getting ready to go time, prepping in the morning before work time, getting ready to head out on a hot date time. Listen, I cannot tell you how much time it took me to do my hair, to go places or just to go to work. And I don't mean like in no crazy, like updo crazy style or anything like that. I mean just to slick my hair back in a ponytail. When I was loose natural, that was a process, honey, okay? You had to wet the hair. Then you had to put the moisturizer in the hair. Then you had to put the gel on the hair. Then you had to put another sealant on top of that to keep that from drying out. And then you had to put your edge control in. And then you had to put your scarf on to tie it down and keep it from poofing back out before you leave the house. And girl, it just took all day. I didn't even have a chance to get to learn how to do my makeup because I was in the bathroom all day trying to get this hair under control. And when I tell you switching to Locs freed up that time, I cannot tell you how many videos I was looking at on YouTube when I was going through this process of wanting to get Locs, and everybody said how much time Locs saved them. Like, it was just amazing. Literally, honey, you don't even have to do your hair. You can wake up in the morning, go like this, and walk out the door. You know, I wouldn't recommend doing that all the time. I'd recommend at least, you know, spraying some water and hydrating every now and then. But you literally could just wake up out of the bed, take your scarf off, and go to work if you needed to, and do, you know, your other hygiene routines. But seriously, your hair with Locs can take as little to no time as you want to give it. Just saying. Number 4. Now, this one was really, really big to me. If you're interested in minimizing the amount of products that you use, saving some coins on all those products, get you some Locs. Now, this is very opinionated depending on the type of person that you are, but your Locs can be as little or as high maintenance as you want them to be. I personally prefer a more low maintenance type. So for me, switching to Locs was everything, okay? When I say low maintenance, I mean literally I could use only one product in my hair for the whole day, and that's water, and be done. That's all I used today. I sprayed my hair with water this morning, and that was it. And I love it. I love it. Water is free. You get it at your sink, or if you have a filter, if you don't have a filtration system, you use, like, you know, spring water, distilled water, whatever water. But yeah, and then every now and then you put some oil in it, you know, maybe once a month or however you decide. You wash it with your shampoo, and you don't have to condition it if you don't want to. Personally, I pick and choose when I condition. My hair has to be really dry for me to put a conditioner in when I wash it. A lot of the times I just use a leave-in conditioner that I spray on my hair. So even washing has minimized. The products I use in my hair have gone down significantly. I do not spend a lot of money on my hair at all, especially now that I do it myself. Like, listen, I should have put save you some money on here. That should have been on the list. Save you some coins by switching the locks. With all that being said, this brings me to my fifth and most, if not most important than everything else that I said, was, are you ready to embrace change? Honestly, ask yourself, are you ready to embrace change? If you said yes to everything else and you say no, that you're not ready to embrace change, then you're definitely not ready to get on this journey. Because when I tell you that change is key, it is every single thing about this journey is change. Changing the way you do your hair, changing the way you see your hair, changing the way you grow your hair, and changing your hair in general. Like, locks is a huge change, and I can understand why people take a deep breath before they decide to do this, like they're about to jump into a pool. Like, I can honestly understand that, because it is a big change. And I want to say I probably contemplated about locks at least a year before I actually got them, because I was loose natural. My first year I was loose natural, I didn't even think about it. But towards that second year, almost going into my, because I'm gonna say it was like 2.5 years, right around that time is when I really started contemplating locks. I started looking at people with locks. I saw their length. They talking about how much time they save, how much money they save on all this stuff. You know, they were natural before they started, and I'm just like, yeah, I got all those things, but am I ready to accept that change? And once you say yes and you're ready to embrace change, whatever change that may be for you, then I can honestly say, yes, you are definitely ready to get into this loc journey and experience all the freedoms that come with it from embracing change. Honestly, if you think about life in general, anybody who embraces change, they have a whole new outlook on the way that they see things. And that goes true for locks as well as, like I said, with life. Once you start to embrace a change and see things differently and open up a whole new chapter on things, you know, it gives you a new perspective. It's like a refreshing feeling. So if you're ready for that and you said yes to everything else and you're hesitating on this embrace change, then I'd say pump the brakes. Maybe you're not ready yet. But if you can say yes to all these, or at least yes to number 5, then you are on the track to getting your locks. And I want to congratulate you on your next adventure. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you take a moment and decide to subscribe to this channel. I have a lot of videos that are in the vault as far as, you know, documenting my process from the beginning to now. So if you want to see some of the change that I talk about in this video, but in real form, you could definitely go check those playlists out. They'll be listed for you guys. And if you guys have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, or you can DM me personally on my Instagram. I know some people prefer to write there, so it's more closed conversation. But yeah, either way is fine with me. I don't mind. And I'll catch up with you guys next time. This was so much fun. I enjoyed talking with you all. And I'm really gonna say goodbye this time, okay? Bye, guys.